Good morning, and welcome to Orange Coast Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is Kelly Kinsman. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm your worship associate today. I'm joined this morning by our minister, the Reverend Sian Wiltshire, and our co-music directors, Steve Morahiro, and Susan Shaw. Deep breath here. We all welcome you today. I want to extend a special welcome to our visitors. If you're seeking a spiritual home, we hope that you might find it here. If, in addition, you're seeking a restroom outside to the left when you go out the doors, and another one in the building. We are a community of many different identities and beliefs. We are bound together not by dogma, belief, creed, or fear, but rather by a covenant to create a welcoming, inclusive, and loving community. We say, we need not think alike to love alike. In the spirit of appreciation and community building, let's recognize the many volunteers who have helped put this service together today. Our volunteers, and thank you. To the roomers, we invite you to silence your cell phones. To the Zoomers, we invite you to say hello in the chat. Good morning, Zoomers. I miss you. As we worship today, let us acknowledge that our church property rests on the sacred ancestral homelands of the Ahashiman and Tongva peoples, who seek justice and responsible stewardship. Our sermon this morning is entitled, The Gifts of Hinduism. Our minister, the Reverend Sian Wiltshire, will lead us in exploring our journey as Unitarian Universalists. We begin our worship with the lighting of our chalice. Please say these words with me. Love is the spirit of this church.
And service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek truth and love, and to help one another. This we affirm together.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Our opening song is One Light Through Many Windows. Please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing. One light through many windows in different colors shines. One flame from many candles burns bright within our minds. One life to us is given, its seconds ours to spend. How manifold its living and infinite its ends. One God with many faces, we meet on many roads, who dwells in holy places and lives in low abodes. One earth with many nations must share a common sun, a world of salvation
As many of you know, each month this year I'm going to be lifting up what I see as the gifts from different religious traditions. Now, I'm not an expert in any of these traditions. I come to it really as a student and a seeker of religion and spirituality, seeking to understand the beauty and wisdom that each one of these traditions holds. Now, of course, every tradition also has its challenges, but that's a totally different sermon series. At any rate, so today we're turning toward Hinduism, and tomorrow just also happens to be Diwali, the Festival of Lights. So, and Hinduism, it just offers the world just this incredible treasure of insight, whether they're practices and stories and poetry and philosophy, and you're going to hear a lot about that today, that just continues to nourish seekers across the globe. So I'm going to begin with these rather famous opening words attributed to Kalidasa, who's one of India's most beloved and classical poets and playwrights. He wrote this: "Look to this day, for it is life, the very life of life, in its brief course, like all the verities and realities of your existence, the bliss of growth, the glory of action, the splendor of beauty. For yesterday is but a dream, and tomorrow is only a vision. But today well lived makes every yesterday a dream of happiness, and every tomorrow a vision of hope. Look well, therefore, to this day."
Receive our thanks for night and day, for food and shelter, rest and play. Be here our guest and with us stay. Saranam, saranam, saranam.
For this small earth of sea and land, for this small space on which we stand, for those we touch with heart and hand, Saranam, Saranam, Saranam.
In midst of foes I cry to thee, from ends of earth wherever I may be. My strength in helplessness, oh, answer me. Saranam, saranam, saranam.
For those who've gone, for those who stay, for those who come following the way, be guest and guide both night and day. Saranam, 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 Saranam.
was beautiful. Thank you. So I want to tell you just a little bit about this figure of Chanakya, who's also known as Kautilya and Vashnugupta. He's one of the most fascinating figures in Indian history. Most think he was a real person and lived somewhere between 400 to 300 BCE. And his life, though, is sort of surrounded by legend, like there is around the Buddha and Jesus and all people like that. We do believe he was a brilliant scholar and teacher who wrote a lot of stuff about politics and leadership and economics. And he's said to have helped found the Mauryan Empire in 321 BC. And today's Time for All Ages, our story, is inspired by that historical event. So long, long ago in the great land of Magadha, there lived a wise teacher named Chanakya. He was not rich, but his mind was sharper than any sword, and his heart burned for justice. One day he visited the royal court, and the king there was very proud and greedy. He taxed the poor farmers until they had nothing left to eat. And when Chanakya spoke up and said, a king should protect his people, not harm them, the king only laughed and made fun of Chanakya for his looks. Oh, who's an ugly guy like you? Who are you to be teaching me about ruling? Chanakya's face grew very calm. He bowed and said quietly, a tree with rotten roots will soon fall on its own. Then he walked away, and as he left the city, he made a promise to himself. He said, I will find someone wiser and kinder to sit upon the throne. And for months, Chanakya searched the villages looking for a child with the heart of a true leader. And one hot afternoon, he stopped by a small house to ask for water. A young boy came running up with a clay cup. Drink, sir, he said. Chanakya smiled and went to drink it. Hold on. He smiled, he reached for it, and the boy stopped him and said, oh, wait, the cup is a bit too hot. Let me pour from the top so I don't burn your hand. And Chanakya's eyes sort of was like, whoa, you think before you act, and you care for others. What is your name? My name is Chandragupta, said the boy. Right then he knew this was the one. He took Chandragupta to his school and taught him everything, reading, numbers, the laws of kings, and the art of listening. And years passed, and the boy grew into a strong, wise young man. One day, when the cruel king's rule became unbearable, the people rose up behind Chandragupta, and with Chanakya's guidance and people's courage, they built a new kingdom, one where justice and learning mattered more than pride and greed. When Chandragupta became king, he bowed to his teacher and said, you gave me knowledge greater than any treasure. How can I ever repay you? Chanakya just smiled and said, rule with wisdom and compassion. That's the only payment a teacher needs. And it is said that because of his wisdom and kindness, King Chandragupta, with Chanakya's guidance, grew to be one of the most peaceful and prosperous eras in India's history. Thus end our story for today. I'd like to invite Nav Malavia up here. He's going to light our children's chalice, and when he does so, we will then sing our children out to their religious education classes. An owl.
Hold you in our love as you go, as you go. May your heart be at peace as you go. Nurture the spark of your precious life. We hold you in our love as you
Our first reading this morning is from the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita was written somewhere around 500 BC and is one of the most important sacred texts of Hinduism. It means the Song of God. The following reading is from chapter 10. Brahman. I am the self that dwells in the heart of every mortal creature. I am the beginning, the lifespan, the end of all. I am the radiant sun among light givers. I am the mind. I am the consciousness of the living. I am death that snatches all. I also am the source of all that shall be born. I am time without end. I am the sustainer. My face is everywhere. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of creation. I am the knowledge of things spiritual. I am glory, prosperity, beautiful speech, memory, intelligence, steadfastness, and forgiveness. I am the divine seed of all lives. In this world, nothing animate or inanimate exists without me. I am the strength of the strong. I am the purity of the good. I am the knowledge of the knower. There is no limit to my divine manifestations. Whatever in this world is powerful, beautiful, or glorious that you may know to have come forth from a fraction of my power and glory.
So the first gift that I personally identify with Hinduism is the gift of many paths to the divine. One of the oldest religious texts in the world is called the Rig Veda. Veda means knowledge or wisdom, and it's a collection of hymns and books from around 1500 BCE. There's a verse in the Rig Veda that says, "Truth is one, the wise call it by many names." The truth is one, the wise call it by many names. And these words composed thousands of years ago, long before the world ever heard of Christianity, of Islam, or Buddhism, and yet somehow they already contain a vision that feels incredibly modern, right? Very universal. That there are many ways to seek the divine, many ways to live in truth. And that insight, truth is one, the wise call it many names, could just as easily appear in our Unitarian Universal hymnal, like when we sang this morning, "One light, many windows." It's the heart of our theology in many ways, that revelation is not sealed, that there's no single path to the monopoly on truth, that each of us must find our own way toward wisdom, compassion, and connection. You know, it's sort of funny, when I was in seminary, I was taking a class on world religions, and one of our assignments was to interview someone of a different faith tradition. And I chose Hinduism because I had very little interaction or exposure to it whatsoever. And my brother-in-law worked for Microsoft, and his boss was Hindu. And so he arranged a meeting with me, so I met her on the Microsoft campus. And she was this very lovely woman. She's very thoughtful and open and eager to share what she had, what she knew. We talked about her upbringing, her family traditions, and the many ways that Hinduism has shaped her life. Toward the end of that conversation, it occurred to me that she might find the Christmas season a little off-putting. You know, I know many of my Jewish friends found it off-putting because it's the dominant cultural force in the U.S. So I asked, so how do your family handle Christmas? She smiled and said, "Oh, we have a Christmas tree and we celebrate Christmas." I was like, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, it's all Hinduism." I was like, "Really?" And she said, "Oh, Jesus is just one more aspect of Brahman." Like, I wonder how Christians would feel about that. I loved her calm and confident embrace of something so culturally dominant, folding it neatly into her own tradition. And it reminded me of the Catholic theologian Karl Rahner. He talked about the idea of the anonymous Christian. Have you ever heard of that term, the anonymous Christian? The idea is that anyone who acts with compassion and love is in some way a Christian. It's a generous idea, but it's also a bit patronizing, right? So I can't help but wonder how Rahner might have felt about Christians being called anonymous Hindus. So Hinduism is sometimes called a religion of 1,000 gods, and sometimes of one or even of none. The truth is that it's all of these, right? Within Hinduism, much like Unitarian Universalism. There are atheists and mystics, poets and philosophers, ritualists and renunciants. There are those who pray to the Mother Goddess and those who meditate on pure consciousness. It's a tapestry of paths woven together by the thread of reverence, not unlike Unitarian Universalism. In the Bhagavad Gita, the god Krishna says to his disciple Arjuna, "However people try to reach me, I return their love with my love. Whatever path they may travel, it leads to me in the end." Kind of reminds you of, you can only come to me through Jesus or something. But anyway, can't remember how that goes. All right, that's a stunning theological claim. It isn't, well, these claims that it comes through someone is because it's come through all of us, I believe. It's a stunning theological claim that not that one religion is superior, but that all sincere seeking leads towards truth, towards love, towards the sacred. You know, Hinduism actually offers 4 different main paths toward truth or enlightenment, you might say. One is the Bhakti Yoga, the path of devotion, Jnana Yoga, the path of wisdom, Karma Yoga, the path of service, and Raja Yoga, the path of meditation. Each is a doorway to the same holy house. And in this we can kind of recognize our own Unitarian Universalist sensibility. Some of us find the holy through reason and study, some through community and service, some through music or meditation, some through the awe we feel in nature. Hinduism reminds us that the diversity of human experience is not a problem to be solved, but a gift to be celebrated, because truth wears many faces. And perhaps when we open ourselves to the many paths, we begin to see more clearly that one light is shining through those windows, and many lights are being emitted. So I want to invite you into just a time of contemplation for just a moment, to kind of think about this truth that Hinduism offers up, this gift. If truth is one, and the wise call it many names, how might that change the way we listen to or learn from people of other faith traditions? How might that change the way we listen to or learn from people of other traditions? When you're ready, please join Susan in singing. It's a new song for us.
Lead me from death to life. Lead me from falsehood to truth. Lead from despair to hope. Lead me from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love. Lead me from war to peace. Let peace fill our hearts, our world, our universe. Lead me from death to life. Lead me from falsehood to truth. Lead from despair to hope. Lead me from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love. Lead me from war to peace. Let peace fill
Our second reading is in 3 parts. The first is from the Bhagavad Gita, the 6th chapter. When meditation is mastered, the mind is unwavering, like the flame of a lamp in a windless place. In the stillness of meditation, the mind dissolves, moving beyond desire and sorrow, finding rest in the self. The second section of this reading is from the Upanishads, which are a collection of ancient Indian texts in Hinduism that form its philosophical and spiritual core. They explore profound ideas about the self, reality, and the universe. This is the second chapter. The self is not known through study, nor through much learning, but by the one whom the self chooses. The self reveals itself to that person. The one who has not turned away from wrongdoing, whose mind is not tranquil, and whose heart is not peaceful, cannot find the self, no matter how much they meditate. The third reading is the Isha Upanishad, verses 6 and 7. The one who sees all beings as part of their own self, and their own self as the self of all beings, does not feel any aversion or revulsion towards anything. For the one who has realized this oneness sees all beings as their own self, and what perplexity, what grief can there be?
The second gift of Hinduism to the world has been the gift of yoga and meditation. We tend to think of meditation as a Buddhist thing, but it came out of Hinduism. You know, I jokingly refer to myself as one of the least flexible people that I know. I cannot even touch my toes. So when I think about yoga, I picture a mat and stretches and poses and, odd downward dog, whatever. And I just sort of cringe because I know I'm terrible at it. But in its original sense, yoga comes from the Sanskrit word yuj, meaning to yoke or to unite. Yoga is about connection, actually. The union of body, mind, and spirit, and ultimately the union of the self with the sacred whole. And as I mentioned last time, there were 4 different yogas, right? Not just that of meditation. One of those passes through meditation, but a meditation that's involved not just the mind, but it is of the whole body. That's why they do all those different poses. The Bhagavad Gita describes the essence of meditation a bit like this. When meditation is mastered, the mind is unwavering like the flame of a lamp in a windless place. Imagine that, a mind and body so steady, so still, that the flame of awareness burns clear and true. In the Chandogya Upanishad, one of Hinduism's great mystical texts, it says this: that which is the subtlest of all is the self of all of this. It is the truth. It is the self that thou art. Tat tvam asi, thou art that. Thou art that. In other words, the same divine essence that fills the universe also lives within you, within me. You are not separate from the sacred. You're an expression of it. And that's what the body yoga and meditation invite us to remember. That wholeness is not something you have to earn. It is our birthright. Beneath the noise of the world, there is a still point within each of us. We talked a little bit about that last week, being the calm in the storm. It is the spark of divinity that connects us to everything that is. In our Unitarian Universalist language, we might call this the inherent worth and dignity of every person. And that's not just an ethical slogan, but it's a mystical truth. the inherent dignity and worth of every person. The practice of stillness is radical in our noisy, fractured world. It's an act of resistance to the culture of distraction and division. To sit in silence, to breathe with awareness, to remember that thou art that. These are ways of coming home to ourselves and to the greater whole. And from that stillness, compassion arises naturally. When we know that the same light lives in all beings, how could we not act with kindness? How could we not act with kindness? So again, I want to give you a chance to think about that. If you could see the light in every person around you, if thou art that, how might that change the way you see others? How might it change the way you see yourself? Just want to invite you into just think about that for a little bit. It's not always easy to see the light in others. Not always. But the Upanishads, which is our song that Susan's going to lead us in, that we've sang once already, lead me, asks us to consider that. Let us sing.
Lead me from death to life. Lead me from falsehood to truth. Lead from despair to hope. Lead me from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love. Lead me from war to peace. Let peace fill our hearts, our world, our universe. Lead me from death to life. Lead me from falsehood to truth. Lead from despair to hope. Lead me from fear to trust. Lead me from hate to love. Lead me from war to peace. Let peace fill our hearts, our world, our universe.
For our third reading, we have words from Mahatma Gandhi. If someone with courage and vision can rise to lead in nonviolent action, the winter of despair can, in the twinkling of an eye, be turned into the summer of hope. Ahimsa is not a garment to put on and off at will. Its seat is in the heart, and it must be an inseparable part of our being. Nonviolence, which is a quality of the heart, cannot come by an appeal to the brain. It is a plant of slow growth, growing imperceptibly but surely. If a single person achieves the highest kind of love, it will be sufficient to neutralize the hate of millions. Lastly, he says, my religion is based on truth and nonviolence. Truth is my God. Nonviolence is the means of realizing God.
So the third gift that I find from Hinduism is the gift of ahimsa, or nonviolence. You know, yesterday, like many of you, I was at the No Kings rally. I love these events. The humor on the signs, I've got lots of pictures if you want to see some. The creativity, the shared energy of people who love their country enough to want to make it better. The mood was very joyful. People were smiling and cheered. Cars were honking as they go by in support. And I took pictures of clever t-shirts and signed and offered encouragement to strangers. I couldn't tell exactly how many were there, maybe 2,000 or 3,000 in Huntington Beach, which is kind of cool. It felt big, and for most part, it was very, very peaceful. There was one person there, who I understand is always there on that corner, holding a Fear God sign surrounded by anti-LGBTQ messages. Most people simply ignored him or quietly blocked his sign with their own. There was only one moment of tension that I remember. One man shouted something ugly as he walked through the crowd, but another one, these two big burly men, they got a little blustery. But before it could go anywhere, the organizers stepped in and very calmly and firmly, standing between them, de-escalated. I remember also at one point, someone was driving by, flipping us off. I couldn't help but yell after them, "I love you!" I'm not sure I truly meant it, but, you know, I was trying. I was trying. But that's really what you can expect from most modern protests rooted in love and justice, a commitment to a peaceful expression, to channeling passion without hatred. And for that, in many ways, we have Hinduism to thank. So that third gift of Hinduism offers the world is one that has reshaped human history, the principle of ahimsa, nonviolence, non-harming. I'm not going to try to pronounce it. The Mahabharata. Did I get that right? Okay. One of Hindus' great epics and philosophical texts declares this, that ahimsa is the highest teaching, ahimsa is the highest self-control, ahimsa is the greatest gift, ahimsa is the best practice, ahimsa is the highest sacrifice, ahimsa is the finest strength, it is the greatest friend, the greatest happiness, ahimsa is the highest truth, and ahimsa is the greatest teaching. And see why Gandhi definitely picked up on this. To live by ahimsa means not only to refrain from physical harm, but to cultivate a heart that refuses to hate, even those who do harm. It's a discipline of both courage and compassion. And this ancient ideal found new life in the work of Mahatma Gandhi, who said nonviolence is the greatest force at the disposal of humankind. It is mightier than the mightiest weapon of destruction. For Gandhi, nonviolence was not passive. It was satyagraha, truth force, the power that arises when love is stronger than fear. And that same power inspired generations of justice movements around the world, including Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who wrote, "Christ gave us the goals and Gandhi gave us the tactics." I like that. Hinduism's gift of ahimsa reminds us that the work of justice is sacred work, right? It's also one of those yoga paths. It is sacred work, not fueled by rage, but by reverence for life. Let me say that again. It's not fueled by rage, but by reverence for life. To resist oppression without becoming oppressive, to seek justice without losing compassion, That is the spiritual challenge of our time. In Unitarian Universalism, we might call this the interdependent web of all of existence. To harm another is to harm ourselves. To love another is to affirm the divine within both of us. And in a world where violence, physical, political, and verbal, feels constant, the call of ahimsa still echoes. And I feel that the vast majority of people in quiet ways every day still answer that call. So again, I want to invite you to think about ahimsa and what it means to be ahimsa, nonviolent. Because if all life is interconnected, as both Hinduism and Unitarian Universalism teaches us, how might that change the way we stand up for justice? If all life is interconnected, how might that change the way we stand up for justice? So here we are, thousands of years after that first Vedic hymns were sung, still learning about the gifts of Hinduism and what it offers the human family. It's the gifts of many paths. It's the gift of yoga and meditation, inviting us to still our minds and discover the sacred unity within all beings. The gift of nonviolence, calling us to live with courage and compassion so that our love becomes a force for peace in the world. Each of these gifts speak to a different part of our Unitarian Universalist faith, whether it's our head, our heart, or our hands. Another Upanishad offers this beautiful vision. From joy, all things are born. By joy they are sustained, toward joy they move, and into joy they return. That joy of being alive, of being connected and compassionate, is the thread running through all of these gifts that Hinduism offers us. Because at its heart, Hinduism is a celebration of the sacredness of all existence, a reminder that the divine is not very far away, but present in each face, in each leaf, and each breath, all around us. As Unitarian Universalists, we receive these gifts with gratitude and humility. May we honor the many paths that lead toward love. May we find peace and stillness and strength and compassion. And may we too walk the path of ahimsa, letting our love be our power and our peace be our protest. I want to invite you to sing with Barbara another newer song for us, also inspired by, I believe, the Upanishads. O Ravindranath.
There are numerous strings in your lute. Let me add my own among them. Then when you smite your chords, my heart will break in silence, and my heart will be one with your song.
Sean, thank you. That was really powerful. Her offering this morning. We need to know Unitarian Universalists are fully self-supporting in their congregations. Members and friends raise all the funds for the operating budget, the ministries, and programs of the church. And we are ever grateful for your gifts and treasure of time and treasure and talent. This church embodies our UU values of justice, equity, and of generosity by sharing half the plate we receive with an organization that shares our values. This month, we're partnering with Share Ourselves, a local healthcare organization. As part of their comprehensive health and support services for the entire community, Share Ourselves distributes groceries to those in need, provides backpacks and supplies to students within the community, and reaches out to families over the holidays. Believing that everyone deserves access to quality care, Share Ourselves works to break down the barriers to achieving optimal health. We partner with Share Ourselves because when we uplift and prioritize the health of every individual, we become stronger as a community. There are multiple ways in which you can support the church and this organization. Here on the screen. You can mail a check, go through the website, or use an app called Vanco Mobile, which is here. If you are a roomer, you can simply use the basket as it's passed. As always, thank you for your generosity.
So the next song is
This video is by a famous East Indian person who was invited by the Biden administration to present at the White House. And he talks about the character in the story Sean told this morning. So go ahead, thank you.
So the next song is called Chanakya. So it's from my project, 9-song project called Navras, and this channels. So Navras means 9 emotions and sentiments, and this one channels the emotion of courage and valor. Whenever I play this or listen to it, it gives me so much energy and so much power that I feel like I can conquer the whole world. And I hope that it ignites the same fire in you. So Chanakya up next. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Please join in singing We Gather Together, a song that puts our intentions into words and expresses our gratitude for the many gifts we share.
Who knew you could rock out to a sitar? I was like, I feel that pump up feeling he was talking about. Oh, yeah. All right, well, now is that time when we honor the important events and people in our lives, and you're invited, one and all, whether you're a member, a friend, a visitor, everyone is welcome to join in and participate in this weekly ritual we call Joys and Sorrows. I'd like to invite Don Martin up here. He's one of our pastoral care team members, and he's going to assist people in lighting their candles. The idea is if you have come here today holding something close to your heart, moments from the last days or weeks or hours, something that has struck you at your core, a profound joy or sorrow, you're invited to honor that by coming forward and lighting a candle if you like. If you'd like to share your joy or sorrow, you can basically write it out on a slip of paper that Paula and the ushers are holding up for you to see. And when you come forward to light your candle, simply hand me your joy or sorrow, and then I will read them out loud. And of course, Zoomers, I've got my chat open, so you can write it in the chat, and then Dawn will light a candle for you. So please come forward as Carrie plays beautiful music and light your candle. All right, I know we've got a few more coming. That's quite all right. Take your time. I'll go ahead and start with some of these. So Sharon B. and Lori K. light a candle of joy. Happy birthday to our friend Jamie. Most of you know Jamie, sitting there in the back with her hat. She said, we wish you a joyful and peaceful year. And Phyllis Kay over here with a beautiful voice in the choir, she lit a candle of joy because she invites you all to have a really fun time in the entire congregation this Friday at 3 p.m. at the Coastal Heights Senior Living in Costa Mesa to attend their choir performance and delicious happy hour for free. Hey, free food and free music. And if you haven't heard Phyllis sing, you gotta. It's amazing. Aww. And Jolene, she lit a candle of joy. She says, I missed out on the rally with Joel and Chance because I was adjudicating high schoolers from all over SoCal in a theater festival competition. The kids were inspiring, great at their craft, and mature and kind to each other. Actors are awesome. Awesome. And Prasan lit a candle of joy and gratitude. Prasan said, we got the chance to be part of a fundraiser for Men Alive, the OC Gay Men's Chorus. He said it was amazing to have friends with us there, including Nicole and Mia. Right on. Let's see here. I think before I get to these, Dawn, can you light a candle for Matthew? This is a candle of joy. Many of you remember Matthew P. He and his husband Alex moved back to Utah, and he says, hello, long time no see. Very excited to let you know that my husband Alex had his gender-affirming top surgery 2 weeks ago in San Francisco. He's home now and returned to work on Thursday. So congratulations. And Lori M., she would like a candle lit. She said, I attended the No Kings protest with Reverend Sean and other church members. It was her first protest experience. She's in her 70s. I love it. It was a happy, wonderful experience for me. It was great having her there. Let's see, Barbara S. said, please light a candle for everyone who participated in the No Kings protest yesterday, including my 2 elderly sisters who each attended a No Kings protest in their respective cities. Too much walking for me, but I was there in spirit. We do what we can. I know a number of people just drove by. If they couldn't stand or walk, they just drove by and honked, which got everybody always roused up. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to read some of these are more sad. So Maureen had lit a candle. She says that Ralph is okay after having a TIA. If you didn't know, Ralph Haller, one of our beloved members, was at Hoag for a TIA, but he is back home and doing well. Yeah. And Paula P., she lit a candle of hope, she said, for Denise. She has breast cancer and is receiving chemotherapy. Let's hope Denise gets better soon. And Catherine A., she lit a candle of sorrow, she said, for my daughter who is struggling with health issues in the hospital. And Stacy R., she also lit a candle of sorrow for her younger sister that passed away this week. Oh, Stacy, I'm sorry. Got 2 more here online. Dawn, can you light a candle for Bob and Betty H.? If you didn't know, Betty has been at a rehab place, and Bob reports that Betty progressive 2 steps ahead, 1 step back. He said, visitors are welcome, but it's hard to say whether it will be an up day or a down day. If you want to call Bob and set up a time to see her, she would love it. And then Melody D., she said, I'll take any extra healing thoughts for my slow healing broken foot after smashing my hip. Oh, I'm really sorry. All right, let us hold in love all the joys and celebrations and all the hurts and sadness, both spoken and silent. Let our joys remind us to be thankful, our concerns remind us to hope, and our sorrows remind us to connect with one another. And let all of these moments teach us that we are not alone. I'd like to invite you to join Dawn in a spirit of prayer.
This is a Hindu prayer translated by Abhi Janmag and adapted. May good befall all. May there be peace for all. May all be fit for excellence. May all experience be holy. May all be happy. May all be healthy. May all experience what is good. May no one suffer. May it be so. Amen.
Let us join together as we extinguish the flame of our chalice and say, we extinguish our chalice, but not the of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Thank you for joining us this morning. If you are a guest or a visitor or someone who is not yet known to us, I invite you to become a part of this beloved community. If you would like to know more about our church, we invite you to either stop by the welcome table in the courtyard or contact us at hello@ocuuc.org, and we will help you get connected. Zoomers are welcome to stay after and chat with one another online. We want everyone to feel a part of this community, so please reach out and we will get you connected.
Okay, lots of stuff going on this week. We got Rhythm of the Soul on Thursday. That's really fun if you like to just kind of move, shake it. It's a great way to go to. Remember that there's the hymn sing-along at 10 o'clock every Sunday morning. I want to mention also in 2 weeks, not next Sunday, but in 2 weeks, I want you to prepare. That is the Pet Blessing Sunday. So bring your dogs, your cats. And if you don't want to bring your cat or a bird or something like that that might totally freak out, you can bring a picture of them. You can have it on your phone. But it is fun to have the pets here, the dogs here in particular. So I invite you to bring them if you can, and the kids will totally enjoy it as well. And then, of course, we got the UU Barbecue Hoedown Fall Auction. Yeehaw! This is our big fundraiser for the church. And the idea is that people offer something and other people bid on that something. Oftentimes it's a dinner or it's a game night or it's something fun. And so we've been offering people suggestions each week leading up to this. And today, Don is going to tell you his favorite auction item that he's given and he's attended. Come on up.
Well, I don't think there could be just one, so I tried to find the highlights. First of all, there are many fun items that Sandy and I have sold. Tea parties, where I'm famous for being a butler. Mystery dinners, candlelight dinners. Actually, the first one was imposed by Southern California Edison, who cut the power. But after that, we thought we'd have another one in celebration. sharing gifts and talents. The lovely Sandra, who can make door wreaths, turns out, showed people how to do that, brought the materials. It was a lot of fun. Many fun items we had bought. Went to a tonk party, more than one. Raclette dinners, again, the same household. We just kept going back. There were sip and paints, which I have no artistic talent, but it turns out I can fake it with a brush if somebody shows me on television how to do it. We went to an insider's tour of Laguna by the honorary mayor of Laguna, and we ended up with lunch and a jazz band. It was a wonderful day, wonderful day. So go to the auction table today, buy meal tickets, register to bid. If you want to look for ideas, talk to anybody there, talk to Sandy or I, and childcare is available. Just please let us know. So let's get this done. This is a fundraiser. It's a fun fundraiser, but it doesn't bring in funds unless you buy things and spend the money, give it to the church. Thank you very much.
So I just want to mention, you see these incredibly beautiful flowers over here done by our very own Sandy, his wife. She's the one who teaches how to put wreaths together, okay? They're gorgeous. She's so talented. I also want to mention that Susan Shaw and I, you can go in with other people, Susan Shaw and I, we are actually going to be buying from Katya over here a tea ceremony. So that's going to be really fun, something very different and interesting. So that'll be cool. And then the other thing that Kelly and I are doing is we're going to do one where, I don't know about you, but I love team building exercises. I think they're fun, you know? Like what you have in common with people, you know, there's this whole one about airplanes, you make paper airplanes. So it's going to be like just $5. Anybody can join and we can have fun. It's going to be a lot of fun and easygoing. We learned a bunch of these actually at our latest ministers retreat, and I was like, I have to bring this back because we had so much fun laughing. So trust me, these are fun ones. Okay, I see a couple of people going, no, I don't like them. No, these are ones that are fun. Trust me. Jennifer's still shaking her head. It will be great. All right. So that is all of our announcements for today. I want to leave you with this one last Upanishad. The light of the sun shines everywhere. The light within the heart shines forever. May we see that light in one another, and may that seeing bring peace. Amen. And let us sing our recessional song. This service is over. Let our service continue. Bless you all.